Hi, I'm Athena and welcome. We're going to discuss a micro-targeted segment of Nielsen Prism's life stage premiere groups. We're going to focus on how we can, as marketers and consumer behavior researchers, create messages that impact consumer attitude much earlier in the journey before the point of making a purchase decision. Nielsen has divided the Young Achievers group into 5 categories based on demographic information and purchase behaviors from the past. But where would an example like me fit into these groups? I don't match in every category. My behavior is not typical for any one particular category, although I do reflect some of the characteristics of each category. So, taking a closer look at the demographics, taking a closer look at the social identity that is represented by not only the demographics, but my technology usage, my income, and my actual life stage is nearing a point of transition. So this information may not be valuable or accurate even a few moments from now. It's important for marketers to create messages that are distinctly inspirational and show a level of social consciousness for micro targets that may be moving from one segment to another as they continue to achieve milestones in their lives. The Fearless Girl is an example of how we can overcome the boredom or annoyance of normal marketing messages and show support, introduce our brands, and have some social responsibility without a hard or aggressive sales pitch being involved. This will allow us entry into the purchase decision journey much earlier before the information gathering begins. We want to have our brands recognized as standing up for the right side of the issues that affect the segment. The theories in the why consumers, specifically this young achiever segment, has so many similarities. Some of them can be combined, some are separate, or they are employed at different phases of the purchase decision, and they greatly affect the attitudes of consumers and segments towards the products, with a little focus on where the segment might be as far as transitioning from one micro segment to another. That might give marketers an opportunity to create more emotional links with the consumer and be regarded as an expert and a friend or an opinion leader, as well as a seller or marketer. Some of our learned behavior about culture, about consumption is rapidly changing. So we need to use the culture theory in a more current way. It's important that we recognize the issues that are affecting consumers, micro targeted, that directly affect them. There's the theory of reasoned action, and this is a theory that is really interesting and well explains through this piece of marketing communication, The Fearless Girl, because it shows that there can be a positive outcome to standing up for equality, and it inspires things like hope. So the stronger your belief and the more you evaluate its benefits, the more likely it will lead to a positive attitude towards the brand, the ideal, the social implications or identity with the behavior. When we have those conflicting needs and conflicting beliefs, here is where cognitive dissonance is. It's a theory that explains that there is a belief amongst consumers that they can actually solve some of these balance issues with the product purchases. Who do they look to for that information, for that validation of right and wrong, good and bad? The expectancy theory is one that I believe is rooted in all transactions and exchanges, communications. We as consumers expect that if we invest in things that are good for us, they will have a desired outcome and they will bring a return on investment that is directly aligned with how the consumer views itself and its attitude about the brands. The Fearless Girl is an example of being creative with mediums to express ideals and to stay in touch with your target segments. The different theories on what drives consumer behavior, especially in micro-targeted demographic groups, is full of information but lacking the time sensitiveness, the urgency that is necessary to keep up with the life and times of our consumers. Data is being exchanged at an all-time high rate, and the consumer also has needs that are rooted in making sure that the choices they make, the consumption choices that they adhere to, are on the right side of justice, culture, social reform, and personal commitments and obligations, how they view themselves. We have to get in front of where the consumer sees themselves in the future, what they are doing to move towards affluence from the segment that they are in now, giving them options and information to be readily used when they need it, which may be much earlier on in the purchase decision process. Thanks.